Inherent Vice is a 2009 novel by titan of reclusive, eccentric literary weirdness Thomas Pynchon, adapted into the 2014 film written for the screen and directed by none other than Paul Thomas Anderson. Pynchon's writing and prose is untouched from page to screen, and that combined with P.T. Anderson's sense of directorial magic, Robert Elswit's stunning cinematography, and a killer soundtrack by Radiohead's Johnny Greenwood are the sawdust, nitroglycerin, paraffin, and gasoline all stuffed into this powder keg of filmic excellence. Describing the plot of this film would be pointless, so I won't even try. It's purposefully convoluted and hard to grasp as a function of the story to immerse us more into its world and characters. Chiefly, our hero Doc Sportello. Being a subversive neo-noir, Doc is not your typical hard-nosed alcoholic gumshoe. No, he is an easygoing hippie stoner private eye who stumbles his way through the investigation, and there we are with him every step of the way. He's confused, so we're confused. He's perpetually stoned off his ass, so we feel that way too. This film will give you a contact high. Along Doc's investigation into the disappearance of his ex and her big-shot real estate developer scumbag boyfriend is a kaleidoscope of colorful oddball characters, poignant prose, and wacky hijinks that all culminate together into something one-of-a-kind, hilarious, and filled with heart. Something reflected in our hero Doc Sportello himself. As the film goes on, it becomes unavoidably apparent that behind those dope-filled lungs is a heart of gold. And for that reason, I look up to the guy. He stands up for himself and for others. He's spurred on by the love for his ex-girlfriend and his friends. He's no do-gooder, but he does good. He sticks by his principles, and he doesn't care what the flatland squares or the pigs down at the glass house think. He's an underdog caught in the middle of something huge, and all he wants is for the people he cares about to be safe. This is why I love Doc Sportello, and this is why at some point I wanted to model myself after him, as embarrassing as that is to admit. Joaquin Phoenix's performance is pitch perfect for the heroic little hippie, soft-spoken and mumbling half the time, eyes wide with confusion or astonishment when he doesn't have the right words. It's gotta be Joaquin Phoenix's most lovable role. The film in many ways resembles what you might get if you mix The Big Lebowski and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas in a blender, but the whole ends up greater than the sum of its parts. It's a drug-fueled, psychedelic romp through LA, and in that way it's very much like The Big Lebowski, only that it goes way harder into the weird, the wonderful, and the compassionate. The effect is a movie feeling a lot more sincere, deep, and interesting. One you could watch time and again and pick up the new details and emotions with every subsequent viewing. The entire film is infected with an air of nostalgic melancholy, as the characters continue to live and long for an era that has passed them by, which is a feeling totally devoid in The Big Lebowski and only tokenly hinted at in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I discovered this film at a very formative and vulnerable part of my life, and I go back to it whenever I need to feel a sense of comfort. And if your friends or lovers have patience for long, confusing movies, then this is one to share with them. This is, and almost assuredly will always be, my favorite film.